Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Manoj Singh Rana and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav, bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. As the world fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin the program with a message of caution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. The headlines. India to begin COVID vaccine supply to neighbours and key partners tomorrow. Independent review panel criticizes China's response to the COVID pandemic, says China should have reacted sooner to the outbreak. Capitol Hill goes into temporary lockdown ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's swearing-in ceremony on Wednesday. Government of India asks social media platform WhatsApp to withdraw recent changes in privacy policy. And in cricket, an embattled Team India beats Australia in a spectacular team effort. India clinches the series and the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the supplies of COVID vaccines to several countries will commence from tomorrow and more will follow in the days ahead. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said India is deeply honoured to be a long-trusted partner in meeting the healthcare needs of the global community. External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, said that India fulfills commitment to give vaccines to humanity and the supplies to neighbours will start on 20th January. In a tweet, the minister added that as a pharmacy of the world, India will deliver to overcome the COVID challenge. The External Affairs Ministry of India in a statement confirmed that supplies under grant assistance to Bhutan, Maldives, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar and Seychelles will begin from 20th January to help fight the COVID pandemic. The Government of India has received several requests for the supply of Indian-manufactured vaccines from neighbouring and key partner countries, and the move is in keeping with India's stated commitment to use India's vaccine production and delivery capacity to help all of humanity fight the COVID pandemic. It added that India will continue to supply COVID-19 vaccines, keeping in view the domestic requirements of the phased rollout. A training program covering administrative and operational aspects is being conducted on 19th and 20th January prior to the delivery of vaccines, it added. India had earlier supplied important health equipment to a large number of countries during the COVID-19 pandemic and provided training to several neighbouring countries to enhance and strengthen their clinical capabilities under the Partnerships for Accelerating Clinical Trials or PACT program, apart from the training courses under the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation ITEC program. In an ongoing effort, India will continue to supply vaccines to countries all over the world. This will be calibrated against domestic requirements and international demand and obligations, including under Gavi's COVAX facility to developing countries.
An independent panel reviewing the global handling of the COVID-19 pandemic has criticized China for its response to the coronavirus outbreak in the initial phases on Monday. The report said that it is clear to the panel that public health measures could have been applied more forcefully by local and national health authorities in China in January. January saw the initial outbreak of the new disease in the central city of Wuhan in the Hebei province. The panel also criticized the World Health Organization (WHO) and China, saying that they should have reacted sooner in the early stages of the pandemic. It added that as evidence on human-to-human transmission emerged, it was ignored in far too many countries. The panel also questioned why the WHO's emergency committee did not meet until the 3rd week of January of last year and did not declare an international emergency until January the 30th. The report said that Chinese officials could have applied public health measures more forcefully in January last year to curb the initial COVID-19 outbreak. The panel is led by former New Zealand Prime Minister Helen Clark and former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and issued its first interim report last year. The Chinese mainland on Monday reported 209 new COVID-19 cases, including 91 new asymptomatic cases. China's Hebei recorded 990 COVID cases since January the 2nd. After Beijing's southern district, Daxing, reported one confirmed COVID-19 case and one asymptomatic patient on Monday, local authorities have put a total of 1,081 faculty members and students from a school where the confirmed patient studies under collective quarantine in 17 hotels for further health status monitoring, local officials said on Tuesday. The capital city still faced a severe epidemic prevention and control situation in fending off the risks brought by imported cases and the resurgence of domestically transmitted ones, Xu Hejian, spokesperson of the Beijing municipal government, told a press conference on Tuesday. To curb imported infections, capital Beijing continued to ramp up prevention measures by enforcing a total of 28 days health management policy for overseas arrivals at customs entry.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel and country's 16 state premiers are in talks over extension of lockdown in the country on Tuesday afternoon. The nation is grappling with a new strain of the virus and stable but persistently high infection rates. The current restrictions are set to expire at the end of the month. Since early November, Germany has closed schools, non-essential shops, bars and restaurants under a lockdown. The leaders are mulling even tougher restrictions as the number of new infections has not been substantially reduced. In Portugal, stricter lockdown is being enacted with the government announcing new rules on Monday. The country is reportedly witnessing a surging COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Antonio Costa said too many people had taken advantage of exceptions included in the lockdown that began last Friday, with authorities reporting 70% of normal movement over the weekend.
The President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden's office dismissed incumbent President Donald Trump's announcement of lifting of a travel ban on Monday. President Trump on Monday announced that the COVID-19 ban on travelers arriving from much of Europe and Brazil would be lifted. Jen Psaki, spokesperson to Joe Biden, announced that the administration does not intend to lift the travel restrictions on the 26th of January based on the advice of their medical team. She further tweeted that the incoming administration in fact plans to strengthen public health measures around international travel in order to further mitigate the spread of COVID-19. She added that with the pandemic worsening and more contagious variants emerging around the world, it is not the time to be lifting restrictions on international travel. Earlier in the day, President Trump said in a statement he would lift the travel ban on Europe and Brazil, while travel bans for China and Iran would remain in place. Taking ahead its Neighborhood First policy, India will be sharing the COVID-19 vaccine with its neighboring countries. While the vaccination program against COVID-19 has already begun in India a few days back, it will be providing the vaccine with Bangladesh as a gift. Our Dhaka correspondent has sent this report.
India will provide 2 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines as gift to Bangladesh. The vaccine is expected to arrive in Bangladesh on Thursday. The officials of the Health Ministry of Bangladesh are making preparations for receiving the vaccines from India. This will be in addition to 30 million doses of the vaccine for which a tripartite agreement has been done between Beximco Pharmaceuticals Limited, Serum Institute of India and the government of Bangladesh. Health Minister of Bangladesh, Zahid Malik, told the media in Dhaka today that the vaccination program will begin with the doses gifted by India. He said that 2 lakh people will be vaccinated on a daily basis. The Health Ministry has made elaborate arrangements for the vaccination program. The vaccination program will be conducted in hospitals and diagnostic centers. The government has said that it will bear the cost of treatment in case any adverse effect of the vaccine is reported. Rajesh Jha for AIR News, Dhaka.
President of Sri Lanka Gotabaya Rajapaksa congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the successful rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine. In a tweet, he also praised what he called Mr. Modi's generosity towards friendly neighbouring countries. Prime Minister Modi thanked President Rajapaksa and assured that India will continue to give due importance to its neighbourhood first policy while collectively fighting the pandemic. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
3 steps to stay protected and stay safe from COVID-19. Wear face mask, 2 गज की दूरी, to maintain social distancing, maintain hand and face hygiene.
India on Monday asserted that peace and stability in West Asia and North Africa is of vital interest to India. India's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Trimurti, was speaking at the UN Security Council on the cooperation between the UN and regional and sub-regional organizations such as the League of Arab States. In his address, he said that 9 million Indians live in Arab countries and extended gratitude for the assistance extended to Vande Bharat mission by these countries. Ambassador Trimurti said that the League of Arab States plays an important role in the region. He said that the conflict in Syria, Libya and Yemen are affecting the larger region, stating that any attempts at bringing peace and stability in the region should put humans at the center and alleviate their suffering. He also noted that regional and international involvement in the region should also be aimed at ensuring reconciliation and peace and not pull parties apart. He asserted that India believes that an intra-country-led process and not an externally imposed solution is the way ahead. Ambassador Tirumurti welcomed the recent developments on the normalization of relationships between Israel and Arab nations, such as the signing of the Abraham Accords, peace and stability to West Asia. However, he reiterated India's support to the legitimate aspiration of statehood of the Palestinian people, endorsed a two-state solution based on peaceful negotiation while supporting Israel's security concerns.
Indian Air Force and the French Air and Space Force will conduct a bilateral air exercise, Desert Night 21, at the Air Force Station Jodhpur starting tomorrow. The French side will participate with Rafale, Airbus A330, multi-role tanker transport MRTT, A400M tactical transport aircraft, and approximately 175 personnel. The Indian Air Force aircraft participating in the exercise will include Mirage 2000, Sukhoi 30 MKI, Rafale, IL-78 flight refueling aircraft, AVAX and AEW&C aircraft. India has announced that the vintage Dakota aircraft will feature in the 72nd Republic Day celebrations of India. The Dakota aircraft played a crucial role in the Bangladeshi Liberation War. Earlier, Bangladesh informed that a 122-member-strong Bangladesh Armed Forces contingent will take part in the Republic Day parade on the 26th of January.
The Indian government has asked social media platform WhatsApp to withdraw the recent changes in its privacy policy, terming them unilateral, unfair and unacceptable. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has written a strongly worded letter to WhatsApp CEO Will Cathcart regarding the proposed changes to the WhatsApp's terms of service and privacy policy. It said that the changes, without giving users an option to opt out, raise grave concerns regarding the implications for the choice and autonomy of Indian citizens. It said India is home to the largest user base of WhatsApp globally and is one of the biggest markets for its services. The IT Ministry has asked WhatsApp to withdraw the proposed changes and reconsider its approach to information privacy, freedom of choice and data security. It said with over 400 million users in India, the changes will have a disproportionate impact on the country's citizens. The ministry has asked WhatsApp to provide details of the services provided by it in India, categories of data collected and permissions and consents sought. Bangladesh has urged Myanmar to expedite the verification of Rohingyas to facilitate their repatriation to the Rakhine province. Bangladesh has handed over a list of 840,000 Rohingya refugees to Myanmar, but Myanmar has reportedly verified only about 42,000 biometric data of the Rohingyas. Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh, Masood bin Momen, briefed the media after the virtual tripartite meeting between Bangladesh, Myanmar and China on Tuesday. He said that both Myanmar and China have responded positively to Dhaka's proposal of keeping presence of international community, including the UN, India, Japan and the ASEAN in the process of Rohingya repatriation. He expressed the hope that the Rohingya issue international community will play a constructive role in resolving the Rohingya issue. India's Foreign Secretary, Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, has said that India, Japan and France are leading stakeholders in the Indo-Pacific region. Making the introductory remarks at the India-France-Japan workshop on the Indo-Pacific, Mr. Shringla noted that the EU is also working on its strategy for the Indo-Pacific. He said that India's Indo-Pacific strategy was enunciated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a speech in Singapore in 2018 as the Sagar Doctrine, which stands for security and growth for all in the region. He said that this envisages an Indo-Pacific guided by norms and governed by rules with freedom of navigation, open connectivity and respect for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of all states is an article of faith for India. He stated that India has sought to achieve this by becoming a net security provider in the region. Commenting on Indo-Japan cooperation in the region, he said that India's Sagar vision and Japan's free and open Indo-Pacific FOIP are convergent principles. This is All India Radio giving you the news. In the United States of America, Capitol Hill went into a temporary lockdown ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration day after a fire broke out under a nearby bridge on Monday. The U.S. Secret Service informed that the fire that prompted the lockdown was extinguished and there is no threat to the public. The U.S. Capitol and its surrounding areas have been turned into a military zone ahead of Joe Biden's inauguration day tomorrow. Elaborate security arrangements have been made in the wake of the Capitol Hill riots, which has shaken the country's confidence and put scrutiny on law enforcement and safety in Washington. On the 6th of January, a group of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol building to protest against legislators confirming Joe Biden's electoral victory in the presidential elections held in November last year.
U.S. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris has formally submitted a letter of resignation for her Senate seat to California Governor Gavin Newsom, ending her 4-year career in the chamber. Harris will be sworn in as the first female, first black and first South Asian woman Vice President of the United States tomorrow. She will also serve as the President of the Senate, which will allow her to preside over the chamber and break the 50-50 ties. Harris, who was also the first black woman to serve as a senator for the Golden State, won her seat in November 2016 and was sworn in January 2017. At the time, Harris was California's Attorney General. Newsom has named California's Secretary of State Alex Padilla to fill Harris's seat. The First Lady of USA, Melania Trump, issued a farewell message on Monday ahead of President-elect Joe Biden swearing in as the President of the United States tomorrow. In a video released by the White House, Ms. Melania thanked frontline health workers, armed forces, nurses, amongst others, in their fight against the COVID-19 pandemic.
As the world continues to confront the COVID-19 pandemic, I thank all of the nurses, doctors, healthcare professionals, manufacturing workers, truck drivers, and so many others who are working to save lives. We grieve for the families who have lost a loved one due to the pandemic. Every life is precious, and I ask all Americans to use caution and common sense to protect the vulnerable, as millions of vaccines are now being delivered.
As she bade farewell, Melania Trump shared a message for the parents and caregivers in the country.
As I say farewell to my role as First Lady, it is my sincere hope that every American will do their part to teach our children what it means to be best. I encourage parents to educate your children about the courageous and selfless heroes who worked and sacrificed to make this country the land of the free, and to lead by example and care for others in your community.
Asian stocks today gained ahead of a speech by U.S. Treasury Secretary nominee Janet Yellen, in which she is expected to call for expansive government action to bolster the American economy. Experts said Asia is expected to bounce back this year from the pandemic-hit losses, and the region will perform better than the European and U.S. stocks. In yet another mining accident in southwest China on Tuesday, 4 miners are missing after an accident happened due to excess levels of carbon monoxide in a coal mine in Biche, southwest China's Guizhou province. The accident took place in Drufeng coal mine in Dafang County at 7:20 a.m. on Tuesday, the state television reported. A total of 47 miners were working when the accident happened, and 43 of them have been evacuated safely. 2 carbon monoxide overload accidents have been reported in the past few months in southwest China, resulting in 39 deaths. Meanwhile, rescuers are still trying to reach the 22 trapped miners in East China's Shandong province who got trapped due to an explosion in a gold mine on January the 10th. As reported by the state media, rescue teams have established contact with 12 of the miners. Contact has not yet been established with the other 10 miners.
Tens of thousands of international students waiting for the last 1 year to return to their universities in China have written an open letter to the Chinese government demanding a clear schedule for the phased return to their campuses. The letter posted on Facebook claimed to be signed by tens of thousands of overseas students demanding that their case may be treated like an education emergency and they be allowed to come back like other international travelers and business people, as it's been more than a year of uncertainty. The Chinese Foreign Ministry, without giving any clarity, said that China attaches high importance to the protection of rights of the overseas students. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte won a crucial confidence vote in the Chamber of Deputies on Monday. The country was brought to the verge of a political crisis after a junior partner quit his coalition last week. Mr. Conte's government won the lower house vote by 321 to 259. However, the incumbent Prime Minister will face a tougher test today in the upper house Senate. Ahead of the vote, Mr. Conte reportedly pleaded for lawmakers' support as the country struggles to battle the coronavirus pandemic.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. The International Film Festival of India, IFFI, completed its 4th day today at Panaji. IFFI is set to continue till 24th of January. More from today's events from our correspondent.
Director of Indian Panorama Film, Bridge, Kripal Kalitha, and Director of 100 Years of Chrysostom, a biographical film, Blessy Ipe Thomas, addressed press today in Panaji and shared their ideas behind making of the movies. Bridge is an unusual, inspiring story of teenager girl in flood-affected region. Dearth of bridge in that area aggravates various problems in that area. Portraying to move ahead despite problems and hurdles is the message in the film, depicting thereby that life must go on. A biographical documentary, 100 Years of Chrysostom, received Guinness Award in the category of longest documentary. The 100 Years of Chrysostom is based on the life of Philippos Mar Chrysostom, scripted and directed by filmmaker Blessy. The director of In Our World, Shrad Sridhar, while addressing press, said that awareness film depicts the reality and how it is dealt with by the world. It is a story of 3 autistic children. Pains of parents and children are shown in this film with a motive to educate and make all aware of the needs of autistic children. With Tushar Jadhav, Mukesh Thali for AIR News from Panaji, Goa.
IFFI provides an opportunity for film enthusiasts and amateur filmmakers to learn about the craft from filmmakers around the world. Various sessions today threw light on different aspects of the films. More from our Panaji correspondent.
Chandrasekhar Pusalkar, grandson of the father of Indian cinema, Dadasaheb Phalke, said that Dadasaheb Phalke was the visionary who propagated Make in India and brought Atmanirbharta to the Indian cinema sector. In his films, Dadasaheb always used local artists and propagated the inclusion of indigenous locations and technical support, he added. Pusalkar was speaking on the sidelines of IFFI in Panaji, which pays homage to Dadasaheb on the occasion of his 150th birth anniversary. With Tushar Jadhav, Mukesh Thali for AIR News from Panaji, Goa.
India strongly condemned the attack on peacekeepers of MINUSCA in the Central African Republic that resulted in the death of a peacekeeper from Rwanda on the 13th of January and one from Burundi on the 15th of January. In a statement, India's External Affairs Ministry remembered the 3 Burundian MINUSCA peacekeepers who had laid down their lives on 25th of December last year. The statement extended India's deepest condolences to the bereaved families of the peacekeepers from Rwanda and Burundi and also wished for the speedy recovery of the injured. And now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in foreign press. The New York Times reports Janet Yellen, nominated to be the next Treasury Secretary, will tell lawmakers that the U.S. needs a robust fiscal stimulus program to get the economy back on track. Wall Street Journal writes that Biden's inauguration speech will emphasize themes of unity and recovery. UAE-based Gulf News, reporting on India's vaccination rollout, says that digital portal, trained vaccinators and cold storage units are part of the ambitious plan. Moscow Times reports that the Kremlin on Tuesday dismissed Western demands to release top opposition politician Alexei Navalny and criticized his calls for mass demonstrations. And Brazil's Rio Times writes that economic activity in Brazil grows for 7th month, but points to a slower pace.
Moving on to sports, in cricket, India today scripted history by defeating Australia by 3 wickets in the 4th and final test at the Gabba in Brisbane and retained the Border Gavaskar Trophy. India successfully chased the 328-run target to seal the 4-match series to 1.
It's full, it's down the ground, it'll be at least 1. Saini, he's got an injury with the groin. It goes as far as the fence. India, incredible. Rishabh Pant.
This was the first defeat for Australia at their fortress Gabba in 32 years as Rishabh Pant's brilliant unbeaten 89, Shubman Gill's 91 and Cheteshwar Pujara's 56-run knock in the second innings guided India to the memorable Test Series win. Man of the match, Rishabh Pant, said in the post-match presentation that this is one of the biggest moments of his life.
I think this is one of the biggest thing in life right now, and I'm happy that all the support staff from the team and all the fans who have supported me a lot, even though I was not playing in the starting matches. But it's been a dream series, I can say that after not playing the first test match, I've been practicing hard and everything pays off because we won the series.
Earlier, the visitors resumed their second innings play this morning with all wickets intact. Chasing 328 runs for victory, India had scored 4 for no loss after bowling Australia out for 294 after tea on day 4 yesterday. Steve Smith, with 55 runs, was the top scorer for Australia in their second innings. For India, right-arm fast bowler Mohammad Siraj picked up his maiden 5-wicket haul. Shardul Thakur claimed 4 wickets, while debutant off-spinner Washington Sundar scalped the remaining 1. India had posted 336 in reply to Australia's first innings score of 369, conceding a 33-run lead. President Ramnath Kovind has congratulated the Indian cricket team for winning the Test series against Australia. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind said, "A historic cricketing triumph scripted in Australia." He said the team showed exceptional skills and resilience. President said the nation is proud of their achievement. Now, a quick look at the headlines once again. India to begin COVID vaccine supply to neighbours and key partners tomorrow. Independent review panel criticizes China's response to the COVID pandemic, says China should have reacted sooner to the outbreak. Capitol Hill goes into temporary lockdown ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's swearing-in ceremony on Wednesday. Government of India asks social media platform WhatsApp to withdraw recent changes in privacy policy. And in cricket, an embattled Team India beats Australia in a spectacular team effort. India clinches the series and the Border Gavaskar Trophy. India is celebrating the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to his favourite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Argentina. And with that, we end this bulletin. See you at same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.